Yuan, Tong, Ming. I have chosen a song today that is a little bit more dramatic. It's two cellos from Game of Thrones. I've chosen it because of the third word in Yuan, Tong, Ming. Ling means vibrant, alive. Be present, and it's a state in which healthy manifestations can happen, sometimes even immediately. Yuan, Tong, Ming is what we would like to achieve in a state. I have gotten 2 questions this week. The first question was about how do the blockages in Qi happen. Well, the question was actually how do the blockages in the membrane Qi happen, or how does it cause it to close up? We can expand that a little bit out into the totality perspective, because this happens, or all Qi closes up or gets blocked due to many, many reasons. Fundamentally, we could say the cause of the cause of the cause of the cause. It is the patterns on the consciousness level, the unhealthy patterns on the consciousness level. Healthy patterns will make it to go more open and will make it to be more in amount and more flowing and better quality. That reminds me of something. Do you see something? It's different headphones. Our whole web class got a gift. Magali, thank you so much. Can I have a thumbs up of, I see Eva and I see Andrea, if the sound is good. Okay, big thumb, fantastic, thank you. Hello, I don't see everybody, but I see 2. So, we have received a gift and I'm hoping, I've heard they work fine, I've tested them, but you never know, so so let's come back to the reason why Qi would be getting blocked. I can hear someone there. Maybe someone of you has not muted themselves. Could you please check? Just so not everybody has to listen to when you're up and about, which is fine. So the patterns of the consciousness, we call them shortly for that, like that, the unhealthy patterns of the consciousness. What is that? This is very, very important to have a good understanding. If we want to have some success in life cultivation, what does success mean? Well, basically success means to be experiencing freedom, to experience calm, relaxed, and natural state, and a stable state, always happy and relaxed. No disturbances. That would be success. But let's not go into polarized thinking. Polarized thinking is one of the fundamental unhealthy patterns for us in Renshu. We have 10 of those, 10 fundamental ones. Then we have 20 more patterns that are described very well in Renshu, makes it 30. And then we have 5 more, which are basically the lack of the Wushin, the lack of the 5 essential heart qualities. So that makes it 35 overall. In the reality of human life, there is actually thousands of patterns. They can be because of the individuality in every human being and how they are formulated through our personal experiences and through our personal cultural experience and through our educational experience and the surrounding that we grew up in, and how the people around us were thinking, how the people that we love think, and how the people that we don't like think. All of that is sort of influencing us in the individual constellation of everyone's own patterns. But those 35 is what we will very well or very good look into. Very well, exactly. We will spend a good amount of time to look into those. We also have them as a PDF handout. I've been thinking if I should just send those out with my email list to all the participants. That might be easiest, so not everybody of you has to email me. If you don't have them because you haven't done teachers training or have not yet worked with patterns, and then if you feel like you can send me an email. The email address is like always there on the camera. Well, in your view, I think you call it webclassrensche@gmail.com. So there's quite a bit to read and quite a bit that one can learn about, especially the fundamental patterns. Why do we have 35? Basically because those 35 are in every single one of us. Once you read them and once we talk about them or even use them to work on them actively, you'll see why. But why do those patterns interfere with our chi? And when it interferes with our chi, it interferes with our emotional state, it interferes with our material that we are made of. So that is the cells and the body in itself. How come? So when we have certain information inside of us due to belief systems or due to human nature, this will be sent out continuously to yourself, but also into the surroundings. That was the picture in the beginning, if you've seen it. I will go into that a little bit in more detail right away. But before this, I would like to look at something else very important, which would be the reason for why unhealthy patterns are established. So that is interesting, right? We are saying that the unhealthy patterns of the consciousness are the fundamental cause and effect, like the cause of the cause, the fundamental cause for disturbances in chi and then body and emotional state or the mind. So, what is before that? What is that place where unhealthy patterns can be established? So, that would be human nature. What human life is in its entirety. And there we have in Renshu, this is, by the way, if it is of interest for you, this is in the theory of Shen and Yi, so the theory of human consciousness. We have 10 fundamental qualities of human nature that make up human nature in its entirety. When one knows those very well, it is actually quite simple then to understand where unhealthy patterns come from in some way. Human life is complex and human nature is complex, and the 10 fundamental qualities of human nature are only 10 and seem to be straightforward, but again, when they form a totality and are constantly interacting, and how do you say that in English? It is a human nature is making us feel. It's no, it's make yeah, feel as well, of course, all the actions of human life. Um, Act, feel, think, experience. That's what the 10 fundamental qualities of human nature are. They're influencing us. So let's look at them in a little bit more detail, that we can have a better understanding what they are, first of all. So there is the natural instinct, there is the survival instinct, there is the social nature, there is needs beyond instinct. We could also call them needs beyond the physical. Then there is retainment, and there is extension or continuation. Then we have malleability, 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 malleability. And then there is the aspiration for the better. There is Jing Shen, which is the word for spirit or spiritual life. And there is wisdom. So these are the 10 qualities of human nature. But that's just their names. So let's look into that a little bit more. Natural instinct. What is the natural instinct of human nature? It's birth, life, and death. It is eating, drinking, sleeping, and eliminating waste. And it is also to procreate. So the natural instinct is something one cannot choose to not do or not live. or not experience. Yeah, you cannot choose to not be born or be reborn in Renshe. We have the point of view or the perspective of the life is a continuation of one life, transitional stage, another life, transitional stage, and another life, meaning one physical form, then becoming collective consciousness, if you want so, if you want to say so, and then coming back again into another physical form, and on it goes. So we can't choose to not be born. We can also not choose to be alive. If once you're alive, well, you can't choose to make yourself not alive. We don't recommend it. We'll maybe learn at another time why. And we're gonna die. Just think about it for a second. Do you have any big influence? So can you change that? Eating, drinking, can you choose to not do that in life? Let's not get too polarized in the thinking. Yeah, I know I've heard, probably like you too, that some people can live off qi. Most of them actually call it light because they don't know much about qi. I've heard Janse say that this is possible, but for us so far, we have to eat and drink. Yeah? We also have to choose to go poop and pee, so eliminate waste. And we have to sleep. If you're doing a lot of Yuan Qigong, you have to sleep a little less, maybe. and the more open one is, the more Qi can come in as well. But sleep is is a very, very important quality of human nature. And then we have procreate. Basically, of a certain age, we cannot really choose to not be sexual. The second one is the survival instinct. The survival instinct is self-serving, self-interest, fear of death, a sense of security, and owning or controlling more resources for life and for survival. So the survival instinct is, again, human nature. This is just how it is. Those are basically fundamental laws of the universe. Once you haven't received food for 5 weeks, you probably cannot choose to not be self-interested in and self-serving in getting food from somewhere. So it's a very big instinct. Yeah? That's why it's called survival instinct. The fear of death itself will be a way of making us do things if we're not covered it. Do things that might create unhealthy patterns or sense of security. We need to feel safe. We need to feel secure and safe. And we have to have more to eat and have some resources and for life or for survival in itself. So we want to own resources. The third aspect is social nature. First of all, we're not completely independent as human beings from other human beings or from human society. I think these are actually times, we are currently in COVID-19 times. For all the people who don't watch this live with us right now, maybe it's 5 months down the train, or maybe it's in 2 years. Welcome everybody in the here and now too. When you're listening to this now and not when this was made, this video. I think we become very, very, very aware right now how we are a bit dependent of other humans and human society. But we also know it as a baby, right? We needed to be fed, we needed to be bathed, we needed to be clothed, we needed to be taken care of. It's not possible to exist without relationships of other humans, actually, at all. We also have this social nature need, establishment and of establishment to establish or manifest our place or our role in society. Yeah, so that would be what we feel called to do. As a job or as a social commitment we'd like to do. The social nature will also be a manifestation of serving one's own interest or other interests. So form parties, for example, might be political, might be religious, might be social in any form. Yeah, might be sports groups, might be this and that. So there's lots of, dancing, art, Renshe community, etc., etc. Then we have the needs beyond the instinctual level. We could call them needs beyond the physical. Here we have the need to be respected, the need to be approved of by others and also be approved of by self. We have the need to be loved, to be helped, to be supported. We have the need to be treated kindly. We also have the need to be trusted. We also have the need to feel victorious, successful. We have the need to feel needed. We have the need for freedom and for justice and fairness. And we also have the need to be of value, or to have a value, or to have a purpose. So those are all needs that we cannot really choose to be without. Or when we have a lack thereof, unhealthy patterns will form. So all of this actually, can you see when you are thinking with your heart and with your whole being, a little bit with us, relate everything to yourself, is what Yancy always says to us when we learn. I'd like to give that forward to you as well. Think, can you live with any of that or without any of this? Live, yes, maybe. Currently we're on the needs beyond the physical or the instinct. So can we live without food? No. Can we live without love? That's probably a few thoughts worthy. Yeah. So our understanding in Renshe is that if those things are not enough in one's life, this is why unhealthy patterns of the consciousness will form. We're coming to malleability. So malleability is a word for those of you who don't know that in English. It's just to be able to form or to transform. Yeah? So it's a self reinvention is possible, that we can do that in history or to do that on the pattern of our consciousness. And it's also that we understand that human nature can be neutral. There's always this big question of good and evil. What is evil and what is good? In Renshe, we have the perspective of neutral. Neutral is good. When everything is neutral, then there is no big bounces, so to speak. Because of the totality of that nobody can be perfect, for example. Yeah. Neutral is very, very okay. To at least to understand how being neutral is keeping the balance. The eighth point is aspiration for the better. So malleability and aspiration for the better are quite close together. Human nature wants to be better. We want to develop. Otherwise, we would still be sitting in caves without tools, I'm guessing, without iPads, now that I'm looking at it, without music, instruments, etc., etc. We want to grow in moral values and standards, and moral life, and we have ethics, and we have now laws, and we have female voting, and that's just one of the things that comes to mind right now in this very moment. But you can allow your Shen to flow wherever those moral values are allowing you to go. So we have also aspiration for the better on life experiences and the Qingzhen environment. Qingzhen environment is Qingzhen is the spiritual environment. We just, so for example, to make it easy, we could say, where would you choose to live? And a place where there is bombs falling and war happening, where you are not safe, and where your survival instinct, maybe the fear of death, is constantly triggered and active? Or would you choose to have the spiritual environment of a relaxed, calm, and natural chi field? Yeah? So we have this aspiration inside of us, always wanting better, wanting to be better. The ninth fundamental quality, they're not the ninth, we just, for us, that's just step by step, because I can only speak in words. So one word after another is the only way I can bring this to you. But that doesn't mean that they are always in that order. Yeah. Qingzhen, so needs on the spiritual level. We need to feel relaxed. We need to feel calm. We need to feel natural. We need to feel freedom. And we need to feel autonomy, or feel autonomous. We need self-control. And we need self-awareness. Nobility on the spiritual level. We also need to be able to transcend reality. What is that? For us in Renshe, we are aware of the three types of abilities that a human being can um, attain. That is the sensual abilities, so seeing, tasting, feeling, hearing, smelling. Then we have the special abilities, which are specific abilities to the human mind, well, human consciousness, I have to say, human consciousness has, because it's human nature to have those. They are dormant, so sleeping or not woken up yet or not developed yet in many people. That's why we call them special. I like the word specific actually a bit more. They're not. They don't make a human being special. They're just specific to an individual's life. Hmm? So this is like being able to walk through walls, fly, um, appear and disappear at will, to teleport yourself. So there's a lot of chi needed for that. And also there is well, an understanding, a certain understanding on the consciousness level necessary for that. The third ability is to develop wisdom and to gain wisdom. So all of these are needs on the Qingshan level, and of course, Wuxin, the need to have the 5 essential qualities present at all times. So to feel trust at all times, to feel open at all times, to feel grateful at all times or gratitude, to feel love, and to feel Gongjing, true respect and humility. So that's the spiritual aspect. And then we have the 10th fundamental quality of wisdom. Human nature is highly integrated with wisdom, with Shen. Shen is like the seed for wisdom. Wisdom is a manifestation of the overall state of life. So the chi condition, the physical condition, the brain structures, we'll hear about that more, the functions of that, the clarity and the ability of Shen Et. So Shen Et is where consciousness, chi, and everything comes together within a physical form. True nature and consciousness comes together in a physical form. And wisdom also means to make consistent effort on changing on the unhealthy patterns, changing the unhealthy patterns of the consciousness. Wisdom means also it's like the seed. It contains all. Wisdom is a bit difficult to describe, really. It's the result of true understanding of the total reality. We have a need for that. So all of these 10 qualities of human nature make up human nature, and all of those are needs. It is on us to cover those needs, to make sure those needs are fulfilled. This is, I heard Janse say that, I like that a lot. This is our obligation and our responsibility to make sure all these needs are fulfilled. If we take care as good as we can, in the overall take an account of the laws of the universe, Tao, so the wisdom and the laws of the universe, like step by step, it's all a process of development. um, with patience and, for example, the cause and effect um, relationships. Another law is that everything is contained in the whole. So every bit we manage to fulfill will even be beneficial to the others, to the other needs. Mm? So, and when all these needs are fulfilled or fulfilled to a degree, then we will be able to replace unhealthy patterns, because we won't feel the lack of that. Actually, quite straightforward. I have taken a bit of time to talk about these 10 fundamental qualities of human nature, because they're so important to understand. I know I've said it, but I want to say it again. When we work on our life, so in other words, when you work on your life and you don't know what is your need, and you get lost in maybe thinking it is a desire, or like, for example, material needs, like we've heard, the survival instinct has to do with owning and controlling more resources for survival in life. So one of them is, for example, money. And I hear that always over and over again in spiritual life cultivation work, how money is so unimportant. Money is only money, yes, but how unimportant is it in these days, where we bartering with money? Yeah, we are unable to produce everything we need to survive, so we are exchanging with something we can do, with some abilities or some products, and we exchange it with others or other products. Oops. And so it is a need, and it needs to be covered. There is no need to feel bad about it. Huh? But if we have a lack thereof, it might turn into greed. And so here again, we come back to what I've spoken about in the last class a lot, compassion. Maybe not just judge yourself or others when you become aware that they might be, or you might be greedy. Really look into it and research where you're coming from or where this person comes from. And if there was a lack as a small child or as a grown up, and a lot of fear of survival, fear of death. So that makes sense that someone tries to cover those, yeah? So can you see how all these needs are very important to know about when we are attempting to make a beautiful, healthy life, a life with a strong sense of well-being, an emotional, stable, a happy life, and also a life in which wisdom can grow. And also, if we truly want to help others, if you want to do zi, do, ren, help yourself and then help others, or uplift yourself and then uplift others, we need to know about these needs so we can stop judging and be compassionate and help understand ourselves and others. Okay, so now we can cruise about, we can close the circle and go to why. Also now it makes, like, I think, a lot of sense why Qi would be closing up or not enough, why it would be used too much. When we are trying to cover and fulfill all these needs, sometimes we might fall into the fear of not having enough and trying to do too much, or trying to go over it from only the external point of view, for example, instead of having the understanding, and it might turn into a desire or an attachment. And then we always have to have more of whatever need that is, and we'll never have enough. So the sense for freedom, justice, fairness, or the sense for feeling victorious or successful might turn into greediness on the power level, and then we might want to start dominating others, for us to feel safe. So, the fight for dominance and desire for victory is not a need. This is coming from a certain level of insecurity about that topic in life, about that need being fulfilled. And for that to understand, for example, we need wisdom. So we see how these qualities of human nature also are working with one another to form a whole, a totality, a total reality again. Okay, so now we can go to, let me share this. How do I do this wrong? There, photos. Oh, no, I needed the whiteboard. So you have seen before, let me check a different color here. So we have seen this way of before the class for a few minutes, for 10 minutes, there was a picture on. It was the picture of a brain. Okay. And there was a lot of chi streaming out of the brain. I'm just making it simpler right now. Yeah. So the brain is formed through every experience. Have you ever seen a brain under this microscope, or have you seen a brain cell? There's fantastic videos on YouTube about that. You can have a look into that if you're interested. See a brain cell grow, or the growing of a brain cell. I have to be a bit aware of all the copyright because I am recording it, or I'm downloading it then on YouTube for you to be able to see the recordings. And I have to be a little bit aware of the copyrights. So maybe you have to research a few things yourself. I would love to show you a brain cell right now under the microscope growing, actually. So what does that mean? That means that every time you learn something new, a new brain cell is forming itself. It's like a branch of a tree that just grows out of the already existing brain. And it looks like this. So every time you learn a new word, you get a new brain cell, and it's attaching itself to another one. And let me show you this picture maybe first. This is a plant in the Dominican Republic, and it is fully covered with spider cobwebs, as you see. Yeah. So have you ever watched a spider make one of her strings and attach it to another place, and then attach it to another place, and attach it to another place? In other words, this is actually how our brain looks like a little bit under the microscope. Many connections, and there's lots of space in it. And every connection, every string, every neuron, every cell, a neuron as every brain cell is called neuron, forms a neurological pathway. And then whenever you say the same word again, this neurological pathway becomes stronger, like a muscle that you are training, for example. Yeah? Every time you experience the same thing or a similar thing, that neurological pathway becomes stronger, or like more energy flows through it. In our case, we understand it's chi that's flowing through that. So every time you feel something, and when you feel the same thing again, it is using the same brain cell, the same neurological pathway. So when you learn to ride a bike, you're getting a lot of different brain cells because there is balance involved, there is distance involved, so space involved, time space continuum involved, there is coordination involved. Then maybe you have, there is what can, I don't know if you remember riding your bike the first time. I remember very well. It was just speed, the rush of movement, and to experience something faster than just walking or running, and that's exhilarating. So you would have built brain patterns for exhilaration or joy. Actually, this is happening, first time you got food when you were cut off of the umbilical cord. So first time you tasted that, your brain grew. First time for everything, plus every time you do the same thing. That's why we have different centers in the brain, a pleasure center, a speaking center, a hearing center, a balance center. So neurology is so fantastically interesting. So when you're experiencing something sad, you form that brain like that as well. When you form, well, when you experience whatever, right? When you experience a trauma, it's a very strong, a very scary experience, for example, then that neurological pathway might not have needed like a lot of repetition. It might have needed only one incident of very strong influence of one of the fundamental qualities of human nature. For example, the fear of death or the sense of security of the survival instinct might have been triggered very strongly. And there's the whole wisdom of the universe behind that, surviving, keeping you alive. And so a lot of energy is being set free. And so that neurological pathway was immediately established very strongly. Okay. This is really, really important if you ever want to be free to understand this. So I hope my beautiful plant in the Dominican Republic, well, not mine, I passed it and I was like, oh, if I ever teach the brain patterns, I'm going to use this. Yeah. All the different spider cobwebs. This is really how I think that works very well as an analogy. So now we get slowly to have an understanding of what patterns of the consciousness are. They can be bringing us to have behavior. They can be certain habits, also habitual behavior. They can bring us to act and feel and think a certain way. Now let's look at how fast is that happening. So let's say you have made the experience as a 5-year-old and you have received vanilla ice cream. I'm picking my favorite. You can pick yours. Or, like for me riding a bike, I remember that very well. And it was like, yeah, speed. And I made this immediate, like, I like this. And then let it be with some of the other senses. So my dad was there, whom I loved. And I felt supported and needed while he learned or helped me ride a bike. And then while I was, managing without my little helping wheels, I don't know, those little 2 wheels on each side, those little helper wheels. I don't know how you call them in English. So you're riding your bike, and so there's this person that you love and you feel helped and supported by, and then you experience that speed. And so you get approval from that person because they, of course, are happy when you manage to ride your bike. And so this is an overall very pleasurable experience. And now I want this again. So now I want approval again and again. I want applause. I want the speed. I'm talking about me now. Yeah, you can put in whatever you want, or like the ice cream. So there's sugar. Sugar changes the brain chemicals. It changes the state. It can have an influence on your emotional state. And so here you go. You want to feel like this again because this was very pleasurable. And now you know where you get it from. Yeah. So this is how our brain grows and establishes it, and this is how the patterns of the consciousness establish. So on more aware places, hold on, that isn't right. In a more aware way, or in a more non-aware way, because the neurological pathways also are organizing our breathing, our blood pumping, the cell reproduction. So all of this is organized by our brain and the nervous system, and so which is the extension to the central nervous system, the brain. And the pattern of the consciousness are mostly we are mostly unaware of them, actually, because they're so fast. And the unhealthy patterns of the consciousness come from unpleasant experiences, or experiences that are dangerous to us, or used to be dangerous to us, at least, where those 10 qualities of the fundamental nature of human, now I mixed it all up. The 10 fundamental qualities of human nature were in somehow threatened, or not fulfilled, or there was a lack thereof. So if we don't have enough retainment, for example. So retainment is Qi, Shen, brain, and the heart, and human, Yuan, Shen, also the collective consciousness, or the human consciousness altogether. All of they retain information. And the patterns are constantly referring back to when we have retained this information. And this has to happen, of course, very quickly. Yeah, I mean, so imagine when you have once been driven over by a bus, let's say half, so you're still alive. Do you think you're gonna jump into the street again when a bus is coming? Or, you will be very fast, activated into the fight and flight mode to jump out of the way of danger, for example. Yeah. So this is all forming those patterns of the consciousness, and we call that in Renshu also, we have a different name for that. We have a name, and it's called the false self, or we call it that. The false self are those false identification with situations or with experiences. False means, in our understanding, that they are not the total reality. So let's say we can use one of mine, so you've been stung by a bee while riding the bike. Here we go. Pretty much soon after I learned how to ride a bike, I've been caught by a bee right here at the mouth in my speed rush. And so I remembered that along the lines with doing Renche. And so I found out, wow, I'm scared of things biting me or stinging me because of that one experience, which was very painful and big, bloated up, and so on. But do I need to be frightened every time a bee flies by? Actually, no, I don't. But see, every time I hear just a mosquito or something, it goes, you know, so the reaction is incredibly fast. So, and we have, you know, I mean, how many experience do we have in life? And can we retain all of them? Can we remember all of them? No, but our chi retains information, you see, our, and it is retained within the patterns, the neurological pathways. I might go forth and back a bit because it's really important for us to understand this for the future classes when we work on the 7th method and the 8th method especially, and also the 9th method. We have to have this as a fundament to understand what we are actually doing. Now, when a pattern or several patterns are active, you might feel like this. Like as if you would have a monkey on your head. If you're lying down or have your eyes closed, maybe look at the screen for a moment and have a look at the monkey sitting on my head. So that's also in the Dominican Republic. So when those patterns are active, do you know that feeling when you are like ruled by a thought or a feeling, an uncomfortable one, and you cannot let go? And it's like this crazy story in your head, or just pain. Pain is doing that to us too. Yeah. It's just all we feel is pain, the pain, the pain, the pain. And the pain could be physical, the pain could be emotional, the pain could be mental, the pain could be spiritual. Now we know why, because of maybe one or several of those needs of human nature are not covered. And that's when you then feel like a monkey on your head. And the monkeys are, you know, we know how they are, lively and crazy and wonderful, and but really quite persistent and can be quite annoying. In this case, I loved it. They were quite gorgeous, but I thought it was a cute picture to help us go there. So when you have these, let's try this again with the brain. I'm gonna make it, I'm just really not very good in okay. This is pretty bad. Hold on, let me take this away again. So a brain looks a little bit like this, no? So now we get it, and there's all these. So, and the brain is then, let me see, can I make this a bit thinner? Last time that worked, this time it doesn't. I would like to make it a bit thinner. Here we go, found it. So there's all these thoughts. You experience it all the time, something, right? You're experiencing smells and you hear sounds and you feel things, and you might have to think, and you are in maybe in a you're talking to someone or you're encountering someone. Whoops. There goes the head plug. I hope the sound is still okay. If not, let me know, please. So, so we constantly, the activities of our consciousness are constantly happening. And as they are happening, we are sending them out. They go where? Well, first of all, they go into our bodies. And also they go where else? Into our heart. And from there, they go into our chi. Of course, everything that goes into our body goes into our chi, because actually it's the other way around. So they go into the chi first, and then the nervous system, the nerves, and then it's carried to all of the cells, or the chi goes to the places in the body. And so how do you feel when you are stressed under time pressure? You have a deadline, or I don't want to call up too many nice, the opposite of nice, not so nice informations right now. But, so whenever you feel that, whenever you are in this situation, you might not be feeling something because you have learned through repetition that when you think of something else real quick, or when you just keep staying busy, you will get so used to the pressure and stress of life that you're not even aware of it anymore. And then it's not even uncomfortable anymore, because it has become so habitual, so repetitive, that you're not even aware of it anymore. This is what happens. The patterns of the consciousness become automatic and very quick. Very, very, very quick. And so you also send this information not just into your body and into your chi, you also send it out into your environment as information. And what have we learned last week in the information, in the theory of chi? Information, when you add information and you keep adding information, it will manifest. It will manifest either in your body as symptoms or blockages in the chi, or it will manifest in situations around you. And this would be the reason for why the theory that we have in Ren Shui, or that we follow in Ren Shui, to change the internal world, change your thinking, and especially change the patterns of the consciousness, so that these fast automatic responses are being replaced. And so these fast automatic responses are not continuously sending out information, especially those we're not aware of anymore, because we have received such a trauma, or that we need to hide it from ourselves. So this is one of the fundamental unhealthy patterns: avoiding and hiding. Our brain has the ability to hide things from us, and then we're not aware that this is what's happening, that this information is constantly being sent out. And then you might wonder why you might find yourself always in the same situation over and over again. And of course, if it's an uncomfortable, traumatic situation, we might go into more and more defense mode or protective mode. And we might end up more and more running away and trying to get away from it. because it seems to be more and more dangerous. It seems to be impossible to get away from. Instead of being able to go inwards, which is what we do in the eighth method, and learning all of these things that we learn right now and continuously. And once we have this understanding about our needs on the human nature level, and that we are not only supposed to fulfill those needs, know that we are allowed to fulfill those needs, that we actually have the responsibility and obligation to fulfill those needs so we can be happy, healthy, and wise, and then even can give it forth to others. That's where the beauty of life comes from, and the purpose of life, to make yourself free and then help others to get there. And these automatic, super quick responses, I like how Norberto says it. Norberto calls it like the stories of our, it's just stories of our mind. It was maybe dangerous once, but it isn't dangerous again over and over. Or I can understand as I grow up, like with my example with the bees, yeah, things happen, but things also heal again, right? I don't need to be scared all my life of bees or mosquitoes. Um, it will heal, it will balance. So for me to make this something that I'm actively afraid of, a state in which I lose a lot of chi and lose my whole heart happiness, this is how I also lose self-love. So it is actually self-love to work on the patterns of the consciousness when they're unhealthy. So we become more and more free. But I would like to say something really, I would like to bring up something really important for this. I'm going to use a photo again to help me with an analogy. So this is my MacBook Pro sitting on a beautiful bush, a tree with lilac flowers, and in a beautiful wood. So this is a bit to be representing the the heart and Shen, my true nature, my human nature, the Shen that is always in access with all the wisdom of the universe, and the heart, the Shinling, who always has access to the beauty of the five essential qualities and other heart qualities. So in a happy, relaxed, and loving, trusting, open, grateful, and respectful and humble state. So the laptop, my MacBook Pro, is representing the mind here. And so there's one thing that you always hear in spiritual life: let's kill the ego. Let's kill the false self. Get rid of the false self. You need the mind. We cannot live without mind. We read with the mind. We write with the mind. The mind organizes our cell reproduction. So 20,000 blood cells every second. That's what you receive every second, 20,000 new blood cells. You receive all 3 to 5 days, between 3 to 5 days, a new liver, because every liver cell has reproduced. Don't quote me on that just yet. You can Google that, but I think it's 3 to 5. No, I'm sorry, up to 3 weeks. The 3 to 5 days is the intestinal lining. I just thought there's something wrong, Andrea. Okay. So between 1 week to 3 weeks, every single cell in your liver has reproduced. Why is there liver disease? Yeah, because the patterns of the consciousness continuously keep sending the sick information. And so the new cells produced are being injected with that unhealthy information. For example, fun fact, all 270 days between to 300 days, you get a complete new skeletal system. So every bone cell is at least reproduced once. So that's what our mind is doing. Your mind is also, running the nervous system and your immune system. So your mind is the one who pumps blood very quickly in your arms and legs when there's really a car coming out of nowhere and you need to be able to jump and run. Your mind also tells you, your mind is also the one who tells you to go and eat or go and sleep. When, if you wouldn't have your mind, you would have maybe a burnout. And if we are constantly overriding our minds, when we're exhausted and we're not resting, or we are not doing, Yuan Qigong, so we're not pumping more Qi, more life force into us, so we might end up exhausted. Here it goes again. Well, they work well, but they seem to be falling out of my ear. One, but only the left one. So, so relaxed, calm, and natural is important quality. And we have to learn to override with relaxed, calm, and natural our mind, and not override it with stress and I can do more, I can do even more, or I need more. Sometimes it's just time to replenish and to get nourished. So it's very important to understand that you don't need to kill your false self or to get rid of it or even to fight it when it's active. So let's pick one. Let's say approval seeking of others. That's a big one of mine. So you have the feeling that someone doesn't like you. So the approval seeking unhealthy pattern would make you behave in a way that you try and make them love you even more and more, that you would try and make them like you somehow more, and so maybe you become more and more submissive. So that would be would have been my old way of functioning. You know Instead of saying no, or just simply understanding with wisdom that not everybody can like you. That's just how it is. And so that is just one example, right? We'll go into that more. But when this is active, it's like the monkey on your head. And it is the mind, your computer, that has that file. And every time you encounter someone that you feel they don't like you, or, at least they maybe are just busy of thinking something else, or they really don't like you because you are of a different religion or a different culture or skin color or political party, or maybe you've just looked at them in a wrong way, that their patterns tell them that their abusive father always looked at them like you now do, for example. These are just examples. Yeah. So the computer very instantly, quickly suggests this information to you, makes you think, aha, okay, danger. So what do? You're trying to avoid and hide. You're trying to run away, or you're trying to, react with this. They don't like me. I have to make them like me more. I have to be nicer. I have to do everything the way they want it. and you completely forget yourself like this. But if you would go and kill your ego, if you would, this is why it doesn't work. Just simply letting go, because your computer is not going to stop working. He has to keep working. Your cells have to be reproduced. You have to breathe. Carbon dioxide has to be transformed into oxygen, and vice versa, and on it goes. So to think of your mind or your ego as something that needs to be treated or that it is a bad thing that needs to get rid of, that won't work. So what do we do with those unhealthy patterns? We replace them with better ones. We replace them over and over and over again with we need to build new neurological pathways. We need to build healthy patterns so that once we have repeated, for example, a reaction of love and understanding towards someone who doesn't like you, and understanding of wisdom, for example, going, oh, who knows what that person has been through, who knows what that person has experienced with someone who looks like me, or who knows what their parents have suggested to them repeatedly over and over again. I'll just send love to that person. I just am grateful to become aware of my own state and that I can send this person love, and I will choose to trust. Maybe my experience will be different then. And so then you start sending out different information out into the surroundings and into the universe. And then step by step, your situations will change. And on top of that, when your situation starts changing, then you will have different relationships, and then you influence yourself positive, you influence each other positive, and so humanity one by one becomes a wisdom humanity, and not a humanity who needs to dominate each other or fight each other. So this is not a utopian thought, this is the reality. And this is how we can make it for ourselves first, huh? Understanding that we need to replace information and to build healthy neurological pathways, so those reactions, the healthy ones, um, the Wushin ones, the heart qualities take over to override the mind. The mind is doing its job and regulating the physical things. And when we needed to organize something, we use the mind. When we needed to write something or read something, etc., etc. But we live from the heart qualities and the wisdom qualities. So the other abilities that Shen, the consciousness, or E, has. So Shen E, Shen is the true nature, and E is consciousness, Shen E. And the mind is only one aspect, the false identifications with the things, the false stories that it tries to tell us. So please love your mind, but be understanding of what it is. If it tries to trigger you into this immediate reaction towards someone or something, tell it to, no, I'm not listening to you. You are responsible for my cell reproduction. You're responsible for my immune system to function well. You go produce all of that, and I take care of how I live my life. My heart and my true self, the one that always has existed. Yeah. I am controlling, or well, it's actually not controlling anymore. Then it's then actually being in this relaxed, calm, and unified state, and then you get be healthy and free. And this is important to understand. So the mind does not feel, the mind only makes a mathematical equation, like a computer. 3 plus 2 is 5. This situation used to be dangerous. That means now it must be dangerous as well. It has to be, because that's all the mind knows. The mind doesn't have wisdom. The mind doesn't have access to, oh, right, yeah, no, this is just because I've heard a lot of times that I have to be scared of a person like this or that, who looks like this, or who talks like this, or who behaves like this. A person who dresses and bashes around them, you know, might not be dangerous to me when I show kindness and love and support and help, when I show fairness and justice, and when I give the person the freedom to express themselves in a different way. And when I hold all of this inside like that in me, then I am projecting that out, and their true nature, their chi, is retaining that, or is receiving that information. Their heart is receiving that information, and they might relax and say thank you and experience gratitude. They might experience love for the first time. And so you're not in danger anymore, see? And you have told your mind to stop that nonsense, nonsense, only because it happened once, or maybe even 5 times or 50 times. But even if it has happened 100 times, it doesn't mean that in this here and now it has to be the same again. I hope it makes sense a lot now with the mind and what the patterns are. That's why we practice the seventh method. Seventh method is to listen to wise information coming from totality, to build neurological pathways in the brain, but also in the heart, and to have those qualities grow and grow and grow again, so that you can live happily together with your computer in the head and use it when you need it, and otherwise you operate from your heart. Remember, patterns of the consciousness are automatic, quick, of every minute of your life. It's all retained in your chi. So sometimes you're in the story and you're not aware of it. And this is another reason for this web class, or for why one would have individual sessions or work together, or call a friend when you are having the monkey on the head and you just can't feel other than sadness or fear or anger, and you don't have yet the replacement information and the replacement patterns, the neurological pathway built. So what do? Well, you get help. Yuan Ming. You get help of someone who understands all of this and has a bit of wisdom to offer to you. And and then, like this, little by little, you gain all of this replacement information, and you build those patterns, the healthy ones, the replacement patterns. And with time, you will become more and more aware. Also, in the ninth method, you learn observation in the moment. Huh? Okay. So, there is a question of someone else. Now I can read that question. I have a chronic shoulder injury that extends down into my pelvis, that has been exacerbated several times by doing Jin Yuan in a less than 100% unified state. So Jin Yuan is the first method. My very holistic physical therapist has discouraged me from doing any exercise that rotates my shoulders forward. This means most of the movements of Jin Yuan and Di Yuan. It would be best if I just kept my arms at the side, but I feel like this would be a totally different form. Any advice? Thank you for that question, first of all. Now let's look at this from a total reality perspective. The question was actually about a shoulder problem from an injury. So my recommendation would be to maybe look into the moment when the injury happened. What state of consciousness were you in? Were you scared? Were you stressed? Were you unaware of what you were doing? Was there a lack of patience? Were you trying, to dominate someone? Were you trying to defend yourself? Were you trying to protect yourself? And then going forward from looking there, maybe finding out more about why this injury has happened. That would be how we would progress in Renshö, to look inside of us, what has made us do or behave that we bring us into that situation of when an injury happens. And then it's important to understand, no need to feel guilty, no need to feel ashamed, no need to feel stupid, no need to feel whatever our mind tries to tell us. Because again, the mind can only do the mathematical equation of you were not aware, and that equals stupid. And that's not how it is. There is so much going on in our consciousness, and life development is that, if not anything, is to become aware of the things. Become aware of the things. I kept wondering, why is that thingy moving, and my hair has gotten stuck in it. I wasn't aware of it because I don't have really feelings in my hair, and I thought, oh, interesting, it's moving back there. That wonderful experience of how the universe always sends us situations that can help us understand or become aware of more things. No? I kept wondering in my head, why is that thing moving? There's no wind in here. So looking into those situations and then applying wisdom and self-love to the situation, and going, and maybe gratitude, going, oh, now I've looked into it. Now I can see. This is, for example, what happened to me when I had my motorcycle accident. I was really hungry. I was tired. I wanted to get home. And I was in the pattern, one of the 35 patterns, lack of patience. And so there you go. That's how you bring yourself into situations that are dangerous, actually. So from a totality point of view, also, shoulders are interesting about, so consciousness. Every part of our body is nourished by our chi, and this is coming from the consciousness. Well, the chi is coming in from the universe, but then it's becoming Dantian chi, and it's imprinted in our own chi and with our information. And that information coming from the consciousness, from all these activities of the consciousness, is constantly imprinting information. And so it's sending that to the shoulders, and or to any place of the body. So every place of the body has also consciousness corresponding to something, corresponding with something. And in Chinese medicine, for example, shoulders have a lot to do with protection. defense. So what you do when you defend, you bring your shoulders forward, and also carry weight. We hear that, I can carry this weight on my broad shoulders, for example. And also when someone works physically very hard, what do our shoulders do? They broaden. Yeah? For example, my shoulders broadened with working very hard in a horse stable as a 9-year-old child already. For the lack of money, I had to work and clean stables so I could sometimes be with horses. And that's how shoulders become broad. Having to carry a lot of weight. That might be mental weight, that might be physical weight. Shoulders also are having to do with responsibility. So the responsibility of fulfilling the needs of the human nature, for example, on the level of human nature. Are you eating enough? Are you drinking enough? Do you take care of yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you approve of yourself? Are you giving others the possibility to take care of you? Do you make them feel needed? Are you fulfilling that responsibility towards others? Do you allow yourself to be helped when you need help? Are you carrying out your responsibilities? Are you sleeping well? Are you doing your Yuan Gong practice? One of my responsibilities. I'm just bringing up examples here. I'm not saying any of those is what's going on for you. I'm just trying to help you gain understanding of what it all could be when you have problems at that particular body place. Yeah? By the way, all of you, is this only for the person who asked the question, or do you have shoulders too? Yeah. My experience in working with consciousness to heal, not me healing anything, the universe is healing everything because of its activities due to the laws of the universe. In my understanding, I don't heal anybody, and in my understanding, nobody heals anybody. The consciousness information and how information is being, put into the energy that's flowing and forming chi and material. Those are the mechanisms of the universe, and those are the self-healing mechanisms of the universe. But in my experience of how healing works, looking in these areas is taking care of injuries or disease way faster, way more effective, or at least eventually. Also, I would like to make a little suggestion here to stop calling it chronic. As soon as our mind keeps reiterating it's chronic, what do we associate with it? We form a pattern of consciousness, and it's an unhealthy one because it's I am sick, I am sick, I am sick. It's chronic. It can't get away. It can't go away. It can't go away. It can't go away. It can't go away. It's sick. It's gonna stay this way. Sorry for being the monkey, but see, that's what the monkey of the head is doing. That's what a pattern of consciousness is doing. It automatically keeps injecting that information into that place where you feel the pain, because I feel pain, I feel pain, I feel pain. And then when you've had it over a while, you call it chronic, and it's not going to go away. I hope I made my point clear. And this is why one of the simplest rules in when we work with healing is it's all good, it's healthy, it's well, it is healed already. There is no problem there. It's pain-free, it's pain-free, it's pain-free. no matter in how much pain you are, somehow to get to this place in your thinking or feeling to, I am pain free, it's all well, it's good. And because this is difficult, right? I mean, who has been in pain? Sometimes pain is so bad, so strong that it takes over your whole thinking. All you can experience is the pain, or fear for that matter, or nervousness, or anger. There's reasons for that. And if your monkey is on your head, I just had to think of the monkey again. Sorry, it's so cute. A little bit of humor, making it easy again is good. In between, sprinkle a little bit of humor inside. Um, if the monkey is on your head, then maybe you have to get help from someone else. But like this, you make someone else feel really nice because they get to help you, they get to love you, they get to take care of you, they feel important, they feel like they have a sense of purpose, they feel like they have a value. And so you don't need to feel bad or guilty at all for needing help. We all do. We all do. Every single one of us needs help, on and off. Remember, social nature, we cannot live without human contact. Maybe for a while in our lives, but certainly not as a baby. We wouldn't survive. And, not many people can live without human contact for a elongated time and, stay healthy and well and fulfill the responsibility to humanity, maybe even. Yeah. So protection, responsibility, carrying too much weight, and maybe having all of these concepts a bit distorted. Um, um, let's open even more. For example, responsibility. So sometimes we are in a situation where we need help, a lot of help, all our lives, because we are handicapped, or we have a certain disease mentally, maybe, or maybe we're blind or in a wheelchair, or and our body just doesn't function right now. So we can't even seemingly to take care of the things like earning our keep. So well, we are humans, we are 10 humans who can function like that. And if you right now don't function like that, let us take care of you that way. Um, that's what a healthcare system is for, and a social structure is for. And, who knows what you've done in your last life? You don't know. Maybe you've been Mother Teresa and you've been taking care of dying people for 70 years. I'm not saying you have been. I can't verify that. And this is, by the way, another very important aspect why not allowing your mind to rule yourself and your life, your false self, to rule and control you with those stories, with those patterns of the consciousness. You, you have lived before and you will live again. And right now is a blip in the infinity of the universe. I mean, where do you come from? You come from humans before that, right? You had parents. We can we can be pretty sure that you have had parents in any form, at least birth parents. Well, you've been born in a female womb. So where have those people come from? Again, where have those people come from? So now you can go into your ancestors, and you don't know what you have done in your life beforehand. Maybe now it's your time to be taken care of. That's compassion. To accept the situation that we're in right now. Um, what could we, find in total reality as well as a replacement information? If we don't want this responsibility, for example, we could be on the opposite side, that we have to take care of many people right now or of one person a lot. And we're not so happy about that. Maybe we are stuck within that, and we feel that our freedom is taken away or something. Maybe we have lived our life before in a way that needed or was codependent of others in a way that was, just necessary then. Or maybe I've hurt someone in a previous life, and so now it's my time to take care of someone who was hurt like that. So I experience, due to empathy, how much that person is suffering from what I've done to someone else. These are possibilities, right? So thinking this way will give you one thing: it will free you up into many possibilities. And so the monkey on your head doesn't have that much chance anymore to make you feel inadequate or, whatever the pattern suggests us. Stupid, ignorant, selfish, self-centered, um, needy, scared, not functioning. It all has reasons. There will be reasons behind it, and this is what we do in the 7th, 8th, and 9th method. We strengthen the heart qualities. We gain understanding via our true self and our heart, and the connection those two build. Who always inject wisdom and totality and, ubiquitousness and infinity into it. And so we find solutions, and with the solutions we find a way to be in a relaxed, calm, and natural state in which our unhealthy patterns of the consciousness are not constantly injecting information that is unhealthy. We get to feel and think happy, relaxed, and well. And so we gain a state in which we are experiencing peace and harmony, literally, no matter what situation we're in. I am not saying this is easy. I am saying this is possible, and it needs a lot of effort. A lot of effort is needed because your mind is a computer and it is running, and we better be happy, really grateful that the computer is running, but we need to strengthen our mind. I'm so sorry. We need to strengthen our heart, and we need to strengthen the sense and understanding of totality and of the true nature of a human life, that death is not an end, that death is actually a word we humans have for something that doesn't really exist, which makes me often think we don't have a word in many languages for chi, which is an objective reality, which you can see, you can feel, and you can work with, and then things change to the better. And death is actually a word for something, yeah, that is a quite limited understanding actually of what death is. There's an end, and then there is something new. Like, for example, you lose trillions of skin cells every day. Yeah. Are you crying over the death of your skin cells? And I'm telling you how many skin cells you lose. I don't know how many, but this is what police dogs can find someone with when they look for someone. while we walk along, we are like shedding skin cells, and that's what they can smell. Incredible creatures, dogs. So, total reality. In total reality and in the chi work is also you find solutions for how to work with injuries. Like I said, important is the information that is being sent out. It is healthy, it is well, full stop. That's where you stick with. And you're going to inject that until that time it's good and well. Of course, if you call something chronic, well, it's going to be difficult to stay with the awareness and the sense of that this is right now like that, but it will change because everything changes. That's another law of the universe. Nothing stays the way it is, no matter if it's 500 million years or if it is 50 years or if it is 5 months or 10 years, it can change. As soon as the information changes, it can change. Now I remember that you've also mentioned something about resulting from the pelvis. That is very interesting because shoulder is protection and responsibility. And if it is connected, which actually every part of the body is connected with something else. So, for all we care, you could have headaches because you have something fell on your little toe, and that created a pattern of fear of something, whatever fell on your toe. And whenever you see that thing, your headache is being triggered. But of course, we're not aware of these actions usually. So this is why Yuan, the 8th method, can help us with these sort of things to really find out what is the cause of the cause of the cause, and then how do I replace this information? Once I understand it, I can fix it. So connection pelvis to shoulder. Pelvis is the consciousness for safety, feeling safe and giving stability and balance. So maybe the shoulder comes from a place. One moment. When have I lost stability in my life? When did I not feel safe? And maybe we find out this way why the shoulder hurts. And when you change that way of thinking inside of yourself, so you face those fears, could be something like me being afraid of bees because one bee stung me. Everything that can potentially bite, be it a scorpion, Orna, if you're there. Be it a scorpion, be it a bee, be it I don't know what, and mosquitoes, be it fleas. I'm scared of everything that bites. So yeah, just in a way of looking into that. Will bring you some answers, and then it will change. It can change. Once as it will change when the information is really replaced and cleared. Huh? But then it can change. If you can't move your shoulders right now, fine. Safety first. That's always in Renju, safety first. You can do an exercise like Yong Fa. You can do Tong Yuan. Love your body. So maybe we should do this today. Let's do Tong Yuan love. And then we can do a little bit of Yong Fa like this. If you haven't learned that yet, I'm pretty sure most of you have learned it. If there's a few people that are new, We really learn a lot of detail about these exercises in the basics workshop. I have an online workshop you can make if you like to learn more about this. For today, all you need to know is move like worms and snakes, and very gently. So you're drawing chi in from the universe, and it's going into your fingertips, and then you make it go through. Let me have a look if I can help you with this. And then, so you make it, you pull it through your every part of the body. And again, the law of totality. So we are in a chi field that works with the law of totality and the information of totality and also the wisdom of totality. So if you can't move your whole body and you can't do Jin Yuan, where this is actually, can you see? Yong Dong Fa. It actually is the Yong Dong Fa movement where you pull chi in this way as well. But if you can't move your shoulders, you can only move your hand. And then you use your mind to draw it up, always in this direction. You just move your hand, and with time, so then you think, you pull it into your wrist, and then you pull it down your lower arm, and then you pull it through your elbow, and the chi goes and goes, and all you do is this. You know, however you feel like. Just moving gently your hands. I can feel so much chi already now in my right hand. If you want to join me, you can just hold up your right hand and do it right away. And maybe you can feel something moving inside your hand. Yeah? And then you can pull it up through your shoulder. And then you can stay in your shoulder for a while and just like feel like waves going through your shoulder. And then you can pull it to the heart. By the way, shoulders is also another aspect within totality. Another aspect within totality is shoulder is so the heart has actually 4 meridians. The heart meridian, also the heart channel, chi channel. It has the small intestine channel, which is the small organ to the big organ. It has the San Chao channel, and it has the pericardium channel, which is the protector of the heart. So actually there's 4 channels, and the heart channels go from the heart out to the fingertips. So you're also activating your heart, and so the heart qualities. Also there is the lung and the large intestine channel going down this way. Lung is responsible for chi circulating in the whole body. Large intestine is responsible for eliminating waste and getting rid of things, letting go of things. So you help with that quality. So if there's something that you called chronic pain, it's just pain and it's just a blockage of chi, and it'll go away. It can heal. It is all good. But you know, you strengthen that quality of loosening and moving, and so the lung energy would make it go move, and the large intestine would go letting go of this, or letting go of the avoiding and hiding pattern who doesn't let you see why the pelvis or the shoulder are injured. So there's lots of possibilities that no one has yet thought of, and that's maybe why your shoulder isn't yet totally fine yet, but actually from now on it's fine, right? Can you see how important it is the way we think and feel at every moment? Yeah. So we are going to do a little bit of Yong Dong Fa, and we're going to unify a bit deeper now, relax a bit deeper. And we are also going to do a little bit of Tong Yuan. Tong Yuan, the 7th method. We're going to do love today. And we are going to do first the 2nd stage. Basically, it doesn't, I like them both. I think the 2nd stage for today. Tong Yuan. Xinling is the term. Maybe I'll write that down for you in a second for those of you who haven't seen it yet. Whiteboard. Shin is the heart, and Xinling is the heart consciousness. Okay, so rebuilding replacement patterns. And what you want to do when you go with the building of the chi field, just keep relaxing, try to unify with my words, try to feel your words, and then go into your heart and try to make every word feel there. You can also, if you know what church eyes already in Knife Method, you can observe your thoughts while a word is being said or a phrase is being said and see where it takes you, and just allow it to observe and then come back when you hear the next phrase again. And then just see what's happening. Ling Yuan, I'm saying, hold on. Tong Yuan is Tong Yuan is literally something that needs to be practiced over and over and over again. We need to establish those new healthy patterns, yeah, those neural pathways. So if you don't feel much yet, like meaning if your heart doesn't burst open from the first practice, please, there's no need to be discouraged. Yeah. We have built our patterns in many repetitions, and we built the healthy ones also. And if you feel a lot of love, don't hold back any longer. Just radiate out to yourself and to everybody. That's all good then. That's what we want. Yeah. Then repetitively, you can practice this at home. By the way, for German speakers, I am almost finished with translating Tong Yuan into German, and then I will record the German version as well. Give me 2 weeks. I think then I'm done. Maybe earlier, but you know, never know. Okay, and what we're gonna do first, before we do Tong Yuan, we're going to do a little bit of Yong Dong Fa, only with our right hand, all of us together. And I'll guide us through this process. Just looking for the page, sorry. I'm going to read this to you. What else? I think that's it. So if you can, go into a really nice position in which you can relax very well. If you have the need to lie down, actually you can do that, you know. Sure, it's better to sit upright and have chi rising, but if you cannot relax doing that yet, then use Yong Dong Fa and Tong Yuan and lay down until your chi is good enough, and then you do it. Incremental approach, right? From a structure to less structure, from form to less, you know, to form less, or maybe from. Important is that you get to be relaxed without having to be in a certain posture. Yeah? Okay. Look straight forward. Allow your vision to rest on this one place ahead of you. And then gently draw back your vision. And relax. Allow your whole body to relax. Relax your head and face. Relax your shoulders and down the arms. Relax your chest. Your back. Relax your abdomen. Relax your pelvis. Relax your legs down. Relax. Open out. From inside, you have turned into chi, expanding the consciousness out into the universe, becoming one with the universe. And draw the awareness back into the now chi-filled body, hovering in the universe, calm and peaceful. Open to the universe with reverence and utmost gongqing. Let the bright universe nurture your heart with compassion and love. You feel relaxed, free and joyful. Chi is flowing harmoniously and smoothly. Keep your body, Qi and Shen unified. Feel your connection with nature and feel the love and support from the Qi field and the universe. Feel the calmness and harmony inside your body. Gently feel your right hand and start moving your right hand like snakes and worms, Yong, Fa. Imagine your Qi hand is as big as the whole universe and move the Qi into it from all directions into the fingertips of the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the little finger. Now feel the Qi moving up in waves through your fingers into the palms and back of your hand, very gently, very slow. Qi is gathering in your right hand. It's building up there. It's getting more and more intense, and it's breaking through a dam at the wrist, It's flooding the wrist and into the lower arm. Guide it up there, feel it maybe. All you need to do is keep moving your right chi hand, and the chi is flowing up into your elbow, through your upper arm. Chi is rising up into your right shoulder, which is a chi shoulder in the universe. From there, it is flowing down into your heart. Constant stream from the universe into your right chi hand, up the chi arm, filling the shoulder. The shoulder is healed, well, strong, functioning. All is fine. It's a chi shoulder. Michelin man chi shoulder. And from there, the chi is flowing into the heart. And from the heart down in your core and filling your whole pelvis. Chi is waving from the universe through the hand and arm, shoulder, heart, into your pelvis and circulating around there in waves. Pelvis is well and healthy and healed. All is good, pain-free, completely pain-free. And then it's rising up again to the heart. The chi continues to flow all the way into the pelvis and continues to flow back up to the heart and from there to the left shoulder. Filling also the left shoulder now. And down the left arm. Down and into the left hand. And from the left chi hand back out into the universe. A whole circle is flowing now from the universe through your chi hand in the right side, up the chi arm, shoulder to the heart, down into the pelvis, circulating there, rising up to the heart, to the left, and floating down the left chi arm, out of the left hand into the universe, and it circulates and circulates everywhere. Chi is flowing. All is open. All the blockages are dispersed and cleared. Chi is flowing freely everywhere. You can feel it flow. If you don't feel it, know it is flowing there. We are all one chi person in the universe. You have the effect no matter if you feel it or not. Shoulders healthy and pain-free, pelvis and heart as well. And you're just immersed in this huge loving embrace and the chi being sent from the universe and drawn by the unification of your consciousness and your love. And then gently bring both of your hands, if you can, into your heart. Remember, those are chi hands. Put them in your heart. Chi hands go into the chi body, into your chi heart. And then unify with the heart. You can let go of your hands and keep your consciousness and awareness in your heart and listen to the words, feel them in your heart. More and more relaxed. Now your body, your Qi and your Shen Yi are all unified in your heart. From this moment on, everything you do will be from your heart. Utmost beauty, goodness, and wisdom of your true nature are shining in your heart. You are going to follow the call of your true nature with an open heart. Begin to communicate freely with your own heart. It is a heart-to-heart conversation between you and yourself, and you and everything beyond. Let's follow the 6-sentence Kai Shin verse, open heart verse, with a sincere heart. Heaven, earth, and human are all teachers with infinite wisdom. I open my Shinmen, my door to the heart, to trust and love them all unconditionally. With gratitude in my heart, I receive the bright light of their love and wisdom and unify with it. My Shen, true self, E, consciousness, and Shin, heart, are fully aligned with the light of Tao. With Gong Qing, realization and wisdom are arising. I am one with the light of the wisdom of the universe. And pay attention to the changes inside your heart. Feel every subtle change there. Feel the indescribable vitality and creativity there. Feel what it is to be totally unified with everything. And tell yourself, I am ready. I am ready to welcome a different me every day. Everything is changing from moment to moment. I believe my inner world can be revitalized and all the darkness can be dispelled if my heart so desires. My heart can become kinder and cleaner, more harmonious and beautiful, brighter and wiser. I am ready to look into my heart for trust, openness, love, gratitude, and Gongqing, the 5 most important qualities for a human heart. I am ready to get to know my heart, and I am willing to continue to cultivate these qualities and my Shen Ling. I am determined to love and take good care of my Shen Ling and my life and everything beyond. I know what I'm doing, and the call from my heart is becoming louder and clearer. I am ready. We are examining and deepening love. Love has been growing in my heart. With the work I have done on cultivating love and developing my Shen Ling, I can now feel more love in my heart and enjoy the benefits it has brought to my life. As love grows in my heart, my whole life undergoes change. I feel more contentment and joy, and I am more stable emotionally. I am able to be more understanding, patient, and forgiving. I feel more strength and vitality. My connection with people has deepened, and I find it easier to express my true feelings. I receive more love and care from others. The world has become a warmer place. I love all these positive changes. I am confident that my work on love will continue to deepen and that love will continue to grow in my heart. Although challenges can be expected, I can clearly see that with good effort, I will be able to overcome them and expect a better tomorrow. The work on love continues. Now my aim is to keep love in my heart constantly and cultivate unconditional love. My love for myself should always come first. I need to be aware of how I treat myself. When I truly love myself, I won't put myself down. I won't be critical or disapprove of myself. I won't push myself too hard. I won't neglect my needs. I won't allow my unhealthy habits to take control. I will take good care of myself. I will appreciate myself. I need to be aware of my heart, especially when it is showing indifference or apathy towards others. Likewise, when love is conveyed to me, I need to be aware of my response, whether I hold any discomfort, resistance, or even fear. What is stopping me from fully embracing and enjoying the love from others? When my heart cannot feel others' sorrow or cannot be touched by others' love, I need to wake it up. My heart is nurtured when there is love. On the other hand, it is torn and tarnished when it is occupied by apathy or hatred. The choice is simple and clear. It can only be love. I will hold love in my heart constantly. Love will facilitate my work on trust, on openness, gratitude, and Gongqing. With love in my heart, it feels very natural for me to be kind, friendly, caring, generous, understanding, compassionate, accommodating, and forgiving. All of these qualities are manifestations of my genuine love. Do I tend to evaluate whether the love I give outweighs the love I receive in return? Too much calculation ruins true love. Love is not a business deal. When my love is not appreciated or well received, I will not take it personally or let it extinguish the love I hold in my heart. My heart is like the sun, and my love is the sunshine. Even when it is light, it's blocked. Even when its light is blocked, the sun continues to shine. True love does not hurt. It heals. A hurt lingering in my memory shouldn't be a reason for not loving again. Both loving and receiving love are part of my learning. Whenever a difficulty arises, I will see it as a lesson, something necessary if I am to make headway. The path of love I am on will get broader and broader. I no longer doubt love because I now realize where it comes from. When my heart is closed and cold and overtaken by indifference or hatred, The outer world I see is exactly that too. I then can only see a world full of cruelty and heartless fighting. On the other hand, when my heart is full of love, the world I see is full of sunshine, vitality, and hope. My internal world determines the outer world I see. It is not the other way round. Who can clear the anger, resentment, or hatred I hold? I can. How? With love and understanding for myself and for others. How should I react to someone who looks down on me, who harshly criticizes me, who is rude or even mean to me? I won't let them bother me. I will try to understand them and forgive them. Their hearts need nourishment and healing just like mine. If any action is necessary, it will be undertaken in a calm and peaceful way. I will no longer get entangled in conflicts between loss and gain, right and wrong, love and hate. I will rise above them and see life in a new light of love and totality. There is no need to be attached to old ideas when they no longer serve my life. It is time to disengage from my love affair with these unhealthy patterns. Unconditional love is what my heart desires. My heart will be filled with love for myself, the world, and Mother Nature. I feel fortunate and so lucky that I can cultivate these pure and selfless love. And I feel grateful that I can unify with the great compassion of the universe. It is my sincerest wish that everyone in the world will be immersed in the vibrant and bright sunshine of love. Focus on the changes inside your heart. Feel the totality of your life. Feel the chi field, the dense chi and information of love in the chi field. With your hands or without, draw the precious chi and information back to your body and your heart so that love will continue to grow inside you and make your life better and brighter. Draw chi back to lower dantian. Quietly nourish chi. And gently lay your hands together and rub your hands, feeling your physical body again. And put your hands into your face, feel your face. Rub your temples and your eyes, send chi in. And calm your consciousness with your chi fingers. All the patterns are new, full of love. Tap by Hu and Shen. Gently rub your ears. And open your eyes gently if you want to. You can keep them closed if you feel like that. We are at the end of this web class for tonight, today, in the morning, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your contributions with your presence or your payment or sharing your experiences so I can use them next time in class. Or if you feel that this is helping you, and maybe you know someone who might be helped. If you want to share it somewhere on Facebook, whoever, how you feel like. Thank you for all of it. Thank you for working on your life and making the world a better place. Thank yourself for bringing this effort to do the learning and for loving yourself. And I will say, Yuan, Tong, Ling.